everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I am bringing you my August manga haul. So in August I bought about as much as I usually do. I tend to be around the same amount of volumes unintentionally month to month, so that's actually pretty good budget wise for me. But yeah, so I was able to go into my local Barnes & Noble and peruse again because we had another manga club meeting, and so I did pick up some other things while I was there as well. But let's just get into it. Again, I do not put my manga in any specific order. I just collect them all in a bag until the end of the month and then pull them out and share them with you. So right off the top here is actually the last thing that came in, and that is SP Baby Volumes 1 and 2 by Maki and Joji. I bought these from Shay Geeks Out. So she was unhauling some of her manga, and I have been wanting to read this series for a while, or duology. Every time I try to go pick them up, one of them is out of stock, so I just decided to go ahead and collect them from Shay instead. And this is one that I'm kind of on the fence about because you will see coming up in a little bit my monthly wrap up for what I read in August, and that will include Maki and Joji's An Incurable Case of Love, and I had issues with that. I also had issues with Happy Marriage. So I'm curious to see what I think of this duology. Because it's so short, maybe I won't have the same issues that I had with Happy Marriage or An Incurable Case of Love. But like I said, that remains to be seen. And yeah, it'll probably solidify my thoughts on what I want to do with this mangaka series going forward. So those were 2 volumes that I just received. I forgot to mention these were published by Viz and rated older teen. So then I have here Call of the Night Volume 3 by Kotoyama. This one is published by Viz, rated older teen. I have read Volume 1. You can see a series first impressions video on that volume on my channel. I'll link it down in the description box below. But I was super intrigued by Volume 1, so I'm going to continue to collect this one. I will probably be reading Volumes 2 and 3 in October just because this does deal with vampires. I like to read my supernatural stuff in October, though I try not to limit myself to that in October, but since I have these and October is just around the corner, I'm going to go ahead and save that for some October reading. Then I have Volume 2 of ID Invaded, #Broken. This one, the art is by Yuki Kodama, original story by Otaru Maijo. The Detectives United. This one is published by Yen Press and is rated older teen. This is a series that I am very intrigued about. It follows a serial killer, which are stories that I enjoy reading about, so I'm hoping to get one more volume before I dig in, especially because it should be more mysterious, and the possibilities of a cliffhanger with mysterious stories is very high, and so I don't want to get myself into a position where I am at the end of a volume and there's a huge cliffhanger and then I've got to wait for the next volume to come out. If you follow me for a while, you know that that's something that I hate very, very much. So I'm collecting these. It's a story that I'm very intrigued about, but I haven't dug into it yet. Next up, I have Volume 3 of Miyarukochan. This one is by Tomoki Izumi. This one is from Yen Press and is rated older teen. This is another one that I'm looking to read in October because it does deal with a girl who can see supernatural things, and so I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. The next volume is actually for my daughter. This is Volume 7 of Persona 5. Original concept by Atlas. Art and story by Hisato Murasaki. This one's published by Viz and is rated older teen. This is a franchise that my daughter really enjoys. I enjoy watching her play through the video games, and she's really enjoying the manga as well. Eventually, I will get into this, but not at this time. I'm not sure where I want to start with Persona. Because I watch my daughter play through all of these games, I kind of feel like I know the stories, but still I'm interested in these manga series. So I believe she has a few of the series. I can't remember which one I started purchasing for her, but she has a few. So yeah, I'm not sure where I want to start with these. I should probably start with the oldest one, but I kind of feel like since I kind of know these stories, I could start anywhere. But yeah, still continuing to collect these for her. Then of course, I have volume 45 of Haiku, story and art by Haruichi Furudate, published by Viz, rated teen. The very final volume of this series. Very, very sad that this is the last volume, but now that we have it all, I am looking forward to completing my read of the series. I still am stuck in the 30s. I haven't read from this series in a little bit, just because I knew that this was coming to a close. With the Summer Olympics that just finished, I have been more invigorated to pick up this series again, but my TBRs have been kind of full lately. So yeah, there is a 30 and 30 manga challenge going on in September, so I may pick this up. But it is a series that we really enjoy. We rewatch the anime all the time. I love the soundtracks, listen to those all the time as well, and I just really enjoy the story. Next up is Survamp, Volume 15, story and art by Strike Tanaka. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This is a series that my daughter is reading. It is one that I am pretty interested in. I've seen a little bit of the anime and am really interested in reading this story as well, but the volumes come out so slowly that I'm just very hesitant to start this because, like I mentioned before, I don't want to get stuck at a place where I'm at a cliffhanger ending, or even if it's just not a cliffhanger ending and it just takes forever for the next volume to come out. That's not something that I enjoy. So my daughter is reading this one. She might even be up to date already, but this one just came out. This is going into her room because that's where the collection of things that she reads is, but it is again a series that I am really looking forward to getting into, and it's again about vampires. This literally is a story about a guy who likes to take things easy, keep things simple, finds a cat. Cat's not a cat, but is a vampire. Ends up forging a contract with him, and his life gets complicated because he gets entangled into this fight against this one particular character and is teamed up with some of the other humans who have contracts with other vampires, and their fight against this one particular character. I believe that's in general what this story is about, but like I said, I've seen a little bit of this anime. I'm really interested, but it takes forever to come out, so I'll let my daughter read that one while I wait. Next up is Bitemaker Volume 2, The King's Omega, story and art by Miwako Sugiyama. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. This is a series that is part of the Omegaverse, and I really am unfamiliar with that term, but it seems like it's about supernatural beings, which is something that I am very interested in. It's something that I like to read about, so picking this up was a no-brainer for me. I have not read volume 1 yet, but I do intend on getting to that again, maybe slated for October because of what that is dealing with. Next up, I have volume 3 of Mint Chocolate, by Mami Orikasa. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. This is a fluffy, I believe it is a romance between step siblings. Now that I have 3 volumes, I can give it a good go. This is just one that the art style looks super cute and I'm interested in reading, so I picked up volume 3. I seem to constantly forget to pick that one up for whatever reason. Like when I go to the publisher website, it's either not there when I'm checking it, and it's never like on my radar. I'm always picking it up after the fact, so I need to be more on top of my game with that one. But next up, I've got Bungo Stray Dogs Volume 19, story by Kafka Asagiri, art by Sango Harukawa. This one's published by Yen Press and is rated older teen, following the detectives from the Armed Detective Agency, and I really enjoy what I have read of the series so far. I believe I've read about 7 volumes. We've watched a season and some of the anime. My daughter is reading through this one, and so we're just collecting it again so that I can read it when we finally have the complete thing. So just another one of those ongoing series that we're continuing to collect. Next up, I have volume 2 of Thigh High, Rewa Hanmaru Academy, story and art by Kotobuki. This one is by 7 Seas, rated teen. My daughter really enjoyed volume 1. She was cracking up on the couch while she was reading it. I have not yet read it. It's one that I am intrigued about, but I guarantee you that my daughter will be reading this one soon because she had such a great time reading the first volume. Speaking of my daughter, the next volume is also for her. This is Carnival, volume 12 by Toya Mikanagi, published by Yen Press, rated mature. This is, I believe, the first volume in the Carnival series that is rated mature. This one is wrapped in plastic, if you can see that. My daughter is an adult, so I'm okay with her reading mature content. I was just surprised when this one came in that it was wrapped in plastic and rated mature, because like I said, the rest of the volumes were not. I'm not really familiar with this series at all. I tried to watch some of the anime a while back. I believe I only watched 1 or 2 episodes and it just wasn't for me at the time. Just wasn't grabbing my attention, but this is one that my daughter has been following consistently, and so whenever I see volumes coming out, I do pick them up for her, and she seems to really enjoy it, so that one is for her. Next up, I have volume 3 of Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, story by Haru Aso, art by Kotaro Takata. This one is published by Viz, rated older teen. This is just a series that I'm very intrigued about. I haven't jumped in yet, but now that I have 3 volumes, I know I keep saying now that I have 3 volumes, you may or may not know, but I do like to have at least 3 volumes before I jump into a series, especially if I'm unsure about it, because I find that with 3 volumes, I have a definitive decision on whether or not it's something that I'm going to want to continue. So now that I have 3 volumes, I'm looking forward to getting into this. It is one that I've heard great things about, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of it. And yes, Zom 100. Next up, I have The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. This one's by Tsukiya, translated by Jenny McKeon. Very interesting because we don't normally see translators' credits on the front, but this one is from Kaiten Books and is rated teen, I believe. I believe it was teen. I did receive an advanced reader's copy from Kaiten's Books through Edelweiss, and you will see a series first impressions video on my channel for that as well. Again, I'll link it down in the description box below. Obviously, I enjoyed it so much. This was out digitally only from February, I believe, but then I had gotten the advanced reader's copy for the physical release, so it was already out by time I did receive my digital copy for review, but I enjoyed this one so much. Super cute. It's about a guy named Kirishima, who is our Yakuza member right here, and he does such a great job. He goes above and beyond, and it catches the eye of the Yakuza boss, and he has a nickname called the Demon of Sakuragi, and so the Yakuza boss is like, I've got the perfect job for you. You do such a great job. I want to give you a special mission. You're going to be the babysitter to my very young daughter. And so the story follows him not only protecting this little girl, but trying to gain her trust, because she doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And so I thought this story was super cute. But yeah, definitely check out more of my thoughts in my series first impressions video down below. Next up, I have Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. This one is by Kaori Yuki. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I believe. And from Kaori Yuki, I'm expecting a little bit of a gothic twist, because the other works from this mangaka have been that way. My daughter really enjoys Kaori Yuki's works. And so when I saw that this was out and that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I had to pick it up and see what it was about. I've only read one other Kaori Yuki work. I believe that was the Grand Guignol Orchestra. I read it for the Manga Freakathon one October. I'm kind of hoping that's going to come back. Bizarre, let me know. But I really enjoyed that one. I am slowly collecting more of Kaori Yuki's work, because like I said, my daughter really enjoys it and I'm super intrigued now. But I saw this one as a new one, and I do really enjoy Beauty and the Beast and retellings as well, so this should be one that I really enjoy. Next up, I've got Bungo Stray Dogs Beast Volume 1, story by Kafka Asagiri, art by Shiwasu Hoshikawa, character design by Sango Harukawa. This one's published by Yen Press and is rated older teen. This one is a manga. I believe this is a spin-off series. It says A Path That Could Have Been. So this is a twist on the Bungo Stray Dog story, where Akutagawa and Atsushi have switched places and Dazai is still in the Port Mafia. So my daughter was really interested in this one, and again, Bungo Stray Dogs, I've been really enjoying everything that I've read from that series, so we've decided to go ahead and collect that one. Next up, I have Volume 3 of Ragna Crimson. This one is by Daiki Kobayashi, published by Square Enix, rated older teen. I read Volume 1 for my Monochrome Manga Club. If you haven't heard, I have started meeting back with my in real life manga club at the local Barnes & Noble, and so when I talk about what we've been reading for the manga club, I have it under my channel as Monochrome Manga Club. So I'll usually have a series first impressions video up on my channel every month, telling you my thoughts on the selections that we have read during the month. So in August, we read Volume 1 of Ragna Crimson, and I really enjoyed it. These volumes are super thick. It had a lot of questions for me were brought up, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how this story continues. But this basically follows a dragon slayer named Ragna, who is kind of low level, and then he gets teamed up with Leo, who is the highest level dragon slayer, and they go about, you know, doing their thing, slaying dragons and getting paid for doing that, because that's how they make their living. And then one day Ragna starts having these dreams that shift his life away from Leo, and so that's pretty much all I want to say on that, because I feel like saying anything more is going to be a little bit spoilery. But with the decisions that were made at the end of volume 1, I'm super curious to see what's going to happen in future installments. And so volume 2 is on my TBR for September, and so I should be reading this one soon. I am taking a risk reading that one as it publishes, because I could get myself into trouble, but because I'm so intrigued with what happened in volume 1, I'm going to take that chance. Next up, I have volume 1 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. This one is by Aida Iro. This one's published by Yen Press and is rated teen. This is a story that I really wasn't interested in until recently. I'm not sure why. It's a twist on the Hanako-san urban legend in schools, which is kind of like the Bloody Mary urban legend a little bit. But I just wasn't interested until I had heard somebody talk about it recently. And I can't even remember who it was I heard about this from. But the way that they talked about it, they just enjoyed it so much that I was just like, I'll check it out. So I decided to go ahead and pick up volume 1. I have decided that we will be reading this for our manga club. So in October, you will see a series first impressions video on this for the Monochrome Manga Club. I'm super looking forward to it because now that I've heard such a favorable review on it, I'm looking forward to seeing what I think. Next up, I have volume 1 of Bloody Monday. Story by Ryo Ryumon, art by Koji Megumi. This one is published by Kodansha and is rated teen. This one follows a high schooler who is actually a genius hacker, and his father gets framed for murder, and he uses his skills to protect his family. And this one just sounded really intriguing, and so yeah, I decided to go ahead and look into that one. Next up, I have volume 7 of The Demon Prince of Momochi House. Story and art by Aya Shooto. This one's published by Viz, rated teen. We also read volume 1 of Demon Prince of Momochi House in August. And I really enjoyed it. It was a reread for me. I read volumes 1 and 2 back in 2017. And I just really enjoyed it at the time, but never continued because it was currently publishing, and so I just put it on the back burner. But since this one has completed its publication, I decided to go ahead and start collecting the rest of them so that I can marathon read through the entire thing. I'm still missing quite a few volumes, but they had volume 7 at the Barnes & Noble when I was there, so I decided to go ahead and collect another one for my shelf. And as I look down in my lap right now, I also have volume 8, so I'm looking forward to continuing this series. This one is about a 16-year-old girl who is an orphan but inherits a house on her 16th birthday, only to find that it's already inhabited by squatters of the Ayakashi variety. Then when I was at the Barnes & Noble, I found another volume that would fill in a hole in my collection, and that is volume 7 of Shularun, The Girl from the Other Side, story and art by Nagabe. Published from 7 Seas and is rated teen. This is a series that I have heard great things about, but just had holes in my collection. So last month I filled in volume 3. Now I have volume 7. So now I believe I have 8 volumes. And so I'm looking forward to giving this series a go. Then I filled in one more hole, and that is Danganronpa 2 Ultimate Luck and Hope and Despair, created by Spike Chunsoft, manga by Kyosuke Suga. This one is published by Dark Horse, and I believe is probably rated older teen, but Dark Horse mangas don't have their age ratings on the back. But if it's like the first series, it's probably older teen. I believe this is the manga adaptation of the video game. We have played most of the second video game. We played the first video game. I read the entire first season. We also watched the anime. I have a series thoughts video on my channel for that one. It's probably my most watched video, which I'm kind of surprised, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out down in the description box below. It's one of my very first Series Thoughts videos, and yeah, I really enjoy this franchise. I enjoy the video game, but we still have to finish the second video game, but I was missing the second volume of the manga series because I believe this arc only has 3 volumes, and so I had 1 and 3, but I didn't have 2. So now I have the whole thing and I can read it. Next up, I have Dimension W by Yuji Iwahara. This one's published by Yen Press, rated teen. I picked this one up because it is one of the Monochrome Manga Club selections for September. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on this one, definitely check out the Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions video, which will be out closer to the end of the month. I don't usually publish those until after we have met, just so that I don't get like feedback before our meeting. But this was one of the Manga Club members' suggestions, and so he had started reading this series. He really enjoyed it, and so he offered it up as a suggestion for the club to read, and so I decided to go ahead and have the club give it a go. This one is a kind of sci-fi series that has to deal with these coils that help connect this one dimension to another dimension, which is Dimension W, and like stolen coils and illegal coils and secrets behind Dimension W, and so it sounds super intriguing. I hadn't heard about this one before the Manga Club member had suggested it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this. I believe it is already completed publication, and I believe there's also an anime out. So yeah, I hadn't heard about this, but it sounds super intriguing, so I'm looking forward to getting into that. Next up, I have volume 3 of If Witch Then Witch by Ato Sakurai. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. This one is just one that I thought looked super cute. The art style looks very cute, very much down my alley, and this one is about a guy who gets a blood transfusion from a girl, and in order to pay her back, he decides to enroll in her magical academy as a girl. So he cross-dresses and helps her try to succeed at the academy. Now that I have 3 volumes, I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. I thought this was only a 3-volume series. I could be mistaken, but this volume is much thicker than the other 2. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it doesn't say that it is the final volume on the back, so maybe I was mistaken. But I'm looking forward to getting into this one. Next up, I have volume 10 of Great Priest Amhotep. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. I have also done a series sampler video on this one, so definitely check out my thoughts on the first 3 volumes down in the description box below. This is a series that I really enjoyed what I have read so far, so I've been continuing to collect it, but I haven't yet made my way back to reading this one. I've just been collecting them, and every time a new volume comes out, I'm just so intrigued by the cover. These covers are great, and so I'm really looking forward to getting back to that series. I have volume 2 and volume 3 of A Sign of Affection. This one is by Stu Morishita, published by Kodansha, rated older teen. I believe this series follows a character who is deaf and a character who is determined to try to communicate with her. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what this one's all about. 3 volumes in, but these volumes are rather thin, and so I'm kind of not sure if I want to start it yet, because I feel like with how thin these volumes are, they're going to go by too quick. And yeah, I definitely don't want to get myself into a situation where I'm just like at the end of volume 3 and hanging. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but it's definitely one that I am curious about. And so I've been collecting those. I actually have 2 volumes because I missed picking up volume 2 when that one came out. I'm not sure why, but that's been happening to me a lot lately, and I don't quite understand. I must be looking at the publisher websites too early, or I'm just not paying as much attention as I should be. But yeah, I swear they're not there the month before or whenever they come out, because I'll see like a following volume on the next month, and I'll be like, wait, do I have the previous volume? And nope, don't have it. So then I've got to pick up that one as well. But anyway, rant over. Next up, I have volume 1 of Happy Kanako's Killer Life, story and art by Toshiya Wakabayashi. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. An absolutely killer comedy about the office life of an assassin for hire. That just sounds super intriguing, and I think it's going to be super fun. So I decided to go ahead and get that one. Plus, the cover to that, it looks very fun and happy, and I mean, she's smiling so big on that cover. Next up, I have volume 6 of Cells at Work by Akane Shimizu. This one is published by Kodansha and is rated teen. This is a series that I have, I believe, 5 volumes of digitally through a Humble bundle that I purchased. And my daughter has recently been watching the anime, and so we've decided to go ahead and continue to collect this manga series. This actually says final volume, so I only was missing this one, and so now we have the whole series. It's not really a series that I'm interested in, to be honest. I may check it out, but I didn't purchase the Humble bundle for that series, let's just say. So yeah, my daughter enjoys it, so I picked it up for her, and so that's just how things go in this household sometimes. Next up, I have Perfect World Volume 7 by Rie Aruga. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. As you know, I'm just collecting these physical copies as they come out to support the publication, because I do have them digitally, but I have not yet read them. So there's that. It's definitely on my list of things to read, but I just haven't gotten around to it. There's just so many series and so little time. The last 2 things I have to show you aren't manga, but they're kind of related. So I have volume 1 of Spy Classroom. This one is by Takemachi, illustration by Tomari. This one says Lily of the Garden down here under Spy Classroom. So I'm not sure if that's the name of the arc, or if it's the name of this character on the cover. But this is a light novel published by Yen On, ages 16 and up, so that's older teen. This one says intelligence is the most dangerous weapon. One unusual spy, Klaus, has never failed on the job despite his quirks, but he's building a team to take on an impossible mission, one with over a 90% chance of failure. However, his chosen members are washouts with no practical experience. They'll have to use every trick in the book and some that aren't to prove they're up to the task. So that sounded super interesting to me. I'm trying to get into light novels, especially because there are so many that I have picked up recently that I have found interesting. And so yeah, here's an illustration inside. But yes, I am tackling a light novel for the second time in September, and so if you're interested in seeing what I think of that, definitely keep an eye out. But that one looks intriguing to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I think with that. The last thing I have to show you is volume 14 of Witch. This is part 5, the Book of the Elements, volume 2. This graphic novel series is done by lots of different people. It's a series created by Elisabetta Known, comic art direction by Alessandro Barbucci and Barbara Canepa. This one is published by JY, which I believe is an imprint of Yen Press, and is rated all ages. This follows our main characters, who are Witch, Will, Irma, Tirani, Cornelia, and Haylin. and they are the guardians of the veil. It's a magical girl story, and each arc has a different thing that they're trying to do or save, or things like that. It's a series that my daughter really enjoyed when she was a child, and I have just been really wanting to re-experience this series. I don't believe that the animated series is available to purchase. I don't believe so. I did try to look. I couldn't find it. But these graphic novels were coming out in like the single issues, and I had collected the whole first arc for her in that. But then when they started coming out in these really nice omnibus editions, I decided to go ahead and change over to that. And so I did read the first 2 volumes of the first arc in August, and I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't remember a lot of what happened, but I did remember our characters and some of the things that they went through, so that was nice. This is a full color graphic novel, and the pages are super thick, and I just really enjoyed the experience. So I am slowly collecting all of what is out. It is still continuing to publish. I believe there are 8 or 9 parts out right now, but I had picked this one up to fill in a hole. I had actually ordered it with the other 2 volumes in this arc, but it just didn't come in with the rest of them. So now that I have this one, I can fill in that gap. But I am really enjoying revisiting this series. And then once I've finished reading past what we've already read, all of that is new material for me. So yeah, even though our characters sometimes get on my nerves because obviously they do some stupid teenager stuff, but I did enjoy reading about our characters and the things that they went through in the first 2 volumes that I read in August. So I'm looking forward to continuing with that. So let me see if I can try to pick up everything that I have shared with you just now, and I'll be back with you in a little bit to wrap this video up. Okay, so this is about as good as it's gonna get. I didn't realize that the stack was gonna be this big. But yeah, let me know if you've picked any of these up, or if you're currently reading any of these series, what your thoughts are on them. But please, no spoilers down in the description box below. So I had to put the stack down because they were falling over. But if you would like to join in on the Monochrome Manga Club reads for the month of September, they are Dimension W and My Senpai is Annoying, and then we are starting a series read of Parasite. So we are reading volumes 1 and 2 also in the month of September. So since it is my booktubeversary and birthday month in the month of September, or if you would just like to let me know that you are here, if you could leave me a birthday cake emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!